Alright, so to crumb coat, now you don't want to get crumbs in all of your icing, so you want to keep whatever icing you scrape off for your crumb coat on the edge here. And then what we do with that is we usually just stick it on our pieces, our cut off tops. Now, my icing is a nice consistency. If it wasn't a good consistency, I could have always added a little more powdered sugar or a little more liquid. Now I'm going to start with my top. I'm working my way to the edges, and I want to come slightly over the edge of the cake in a nice thin layer. And you don't want to push too hard because you don't want to crush down your cake. Alright, and I'm going to get a spatula full, and I'm going to start on my side. Start with your spatula touching the board at the bottom. And see how I got crumbs on my spatula? I'm going to wipe that on my edge right here, and I'm going to scoop up a little bit more with it and pick it back up and bring it back up, because that's my icing that I'm crumb coating with. And as I go around, I like to pull that in and use that frosting as well that's kind of overlapping. That way I have less icing that I get crumbs in and I waste less. And I always try to keep my crummy icing right on the edge of the bowl. Another reason for crumb coating is because I'm not actually going to be completing the cake today. It's getting late, so we're gonna have to finish this the rest of the way tomorrow or the next day. But don't worry, it'll stay fresh. If you're making this for your own birthday, I'm sure you'd want to get it done a little quicker. I want to make sure I'm coming all the way to the bottom. And this is going to set as my base for my next layer of icing to help me be able to make it nice and smooth. See, I've gone all the way around. I'm going to use my spatula and just lift up the extra icing that's laying on the board and go around once more back. Make sure everything is nice and smoothed out. And then I'm going to take my spatula on the edge of the cake. I can see just where it's coming to and pull it inward just to remove the excess icing off the top. And I can see my layers when I'm pushing it jiggle around just a little. So that is another thing after you crumb coat with such a nice tall cake and you know you have icing between your layers. Oops. That I'm going to be putting it in the refrigerator so my icing firms up. Look at that, I keep getting a little hole there. So I'm just going to leave that spot a little thicker. But my icing is going to, even if you're just doing this at home for the same time, I would recommend putting it in the refrigerator for at least probably an hour or two so the icing between your layers firms up enough that it's not going to jiggle around while you're frosting it. Alright, so now we got our crumb coat done and we're going to pop this in the refrigerator.